7 art style challenge. I was going to do 10, but then my hands started to cramp. Anywho, so we're going to start with Naoko Takeuchi, who is the original creator and illustrator for Sailormoon. So the picture that I just showed was the picture that I'm actually going to be trying to duplicate in all these pictures of Princess Serenity. So the first style that I'm imitating is Naoko's manga style. The anime style's a little bit different, a little bit less soft. But the reason why I started with her is because I really learned how to draw by copying Naoko. I would trace constantly the mangas. And that's really how I learned how to draw form and stuff. And that's also why like a lot of my characters in the beginning when I would draw had very anime-like features. They had really long legs and big eyes and these itty-bitty waists. And it was mostly because I was copying her. I just really love her style. It's so soft and pretty, and also she was really into fashion. She would look at like these fashion designs of like Dior and stuff, and then she would put it into her manga, sometimes completely ripped off, but she just really was into fashion, and I was really into fashion. But the Sailormoon dress, I think, is a Dior dress from like the early 90s from a Grecian like line, or it basically is that dress. She changed it a little bit because that dress is a little bit more, I think, like thick. It just like hangs and in a different way than the way Princess Serenity's dress seems to be more gauzy and flowy. But I just love her style. It's very soft and watercolory, and I chose like a pencil style pen to use, so it made it look a little bit more like hand drawn, and it's very nostalgic for me, and so that's why I decided to start with Naoko. And then now we're going on to my style. So my style has changed through the years, but it really is kind of a hybrid of anime and Disney, because that's kind of how I learned to draw. I like very soft, round, like illustrations, faces. The hair, it's funny, like my hair, when I draw hair, the hair tends to be a little bit more anime, but like the eyes and the face are a little bit more Disney. So it's just very, it's funny how I've like tweaked it to make it my own. And then I just wanted her dress to be a little bit more flowy. As I was coloring it in. Also, this video is probably really edited because it's so many like footage that I had, so much footage that I had, that I like really sped it up and like edited out a lot more of like just me selecting things or tweaking things, because the video would be like a million years long. But I don't know, I've been moving more towards a very like cartoony style when I color in, because it's a little bit easier, but I personally just like a softer look and more watercolor almost look. So even though I do like fill in something with the bucket, I go over it with like a watercolor brush for the highlights and the undertones, because I think it's just prettier looking and a little bit more realistic, and just shows more detail, so it's not such a flat color. Most of these like art challenges, I didn't realize until afterwards that people just do like from the head to the shoulders, and here I am being like extra and drawing the whole body, and then I wondered why my hand was cramping at the end, and I was just like, why do people do this? This is awful. I can only do 7. I'm so tired. Well, it's because they only do the heads, and I'm a dum-dum. So next is Ross Tran. Ross Tran is an artist that I've been following recently. He's really amazing, and I thought I'd really challenge myself, because I don't think I can draw like him. Like I don't think I'm at that level, but he doesn't really use like line art. It's a lot of like just color that he makes into something. And, you know, I do line art, like, and then I color in the line art. And yeah, he does sketches and everything. But, like, in the end, like, when you look at it, it's just, like, there's no harsh lines and stuff. And so I thought I'd challenge myself and try to do that. It was so flipping hard. I basically did like what you normally would do in an art style challenge. I only did the head and the shoulders because after a while I was just like, I give up. I don't know how else to do this. It was really hard for me because I didn't have the guidelines or anything. Because I'm not exactly sure how he does it. Like, does he take the sketch and then he like paints over the sketch like I did? Or does he have a sketch and then he paints the sketch? Like, does he have line art and then he fills in the line art and then deletes the line art? Like, I wasn't exactly sure. So I just kind of did what I could visually see in his pictures. And it's a lot of soft, like, brush strokes and a lot of color. And he really loves, like, sparkly little sprinkles of highlight. And he loves the dodge tool. And it's just very funny, like, certain things that he loves to do. And then I, tried to imitate that. I don't know if I did, but I did my best. It's definitely the most, like, in-depth face I've ever painted, I think. Like, I don't really go, like, into this much detail with somebody, but I'll try it. I'll try real hard. And because her head was, like, tilted, I kept having to, like, actually twist the picture with the tablet. It was pretty cool because you could just touch it and it would turn. That was pretty cool. Her hair was really hard because her skin was so light and her hair was so light, and I was having a lot of difficulty finding depth in that because, like, because without the line art, like, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, how do you do this? So it was pretty hard for me. Like, with the hair, it just felt like I kept going over and over and over the same stuff that I had already drawn, like, over and over, and it just never seemed to look good enough. So I try to just, like, make peace with myself and just move on. This one took me the longest. Was probably a couple of hours of me just, like, tweaking it and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. I'm sure, like, if you do this style of painting a lot, like, eventually you get to know certain tricks and shortcuts to make it, like, not so tedious. Because usually for me, like, to finish, like, a drawing that I think is, like, good enough is, like, maybe, like, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. Like, if I think it's just, like, good enough. Obviously I can always make things better, and I think that's just from working in conventions so much. Like, I'm so used to drawing really fast, and also I don't want to ruin things because I'm used to drawing with marker, and you keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking, and eventually you're just gonna bleed through the paper. Next is Kim Possible. So Kim Possible was a show I absolutely adored. I was too old to watch it. I was a teenager already, but I thought it was so cute. And I loved Raw Unstoppable, and I was obsessed with Rufus, who was the naked mole rat. I still sing his song. But this is when I started to realize that I absolutely hate clean lines and cell shading. Like, it is so hard for me and so boring for me because it's so quick to do. And I didn't like it. I thought because it's, to me, the lines aren't clean enough to look like actual animation. So, like, to me, I thought it didn't look very good, but I couldn't figure out how to make the lines not look the way that they looked. So, like, they still looked hand-drawn to me. So I wasn't particularly a fan of this style. I know that there's, like, ways you can use the tools in here to do it for you, but I haven't quite perfected that. So, like, this was very hard for me. Even though it was the quickest one to do, it was just very hard for me. And then also having to take the individual parts and then change the line color. That's another thing that a lot of animation does, which is cool, but it's just, like, not my style, and it's, like, another thing I have to remember to do. And so, you know, I was getting frustrated with that because, like, I really didn't think it looked very good. Although a lot of people thought the Daria's next and Kim Possible looked really cute, but I personally, I wasn't a fan of them because I thought they were just so simple looking. And then next is Daria. Now, Daria was a MTV cartoon, which was a spinoff of Beavis and Butthead, that was just amazing, and I loved every second of it. I liked drawing the Daria one a little bit more because it was a little less simplistic, but still just the same with the coloring, and it was very simple. So shading. Cannot talk. But I loved Daria. Daria was so funny, and she was just so, like, angsty and emo, and she had a mad crush on Tran. You know, he'd be like, "Hey," I loved Tran. And I cosplayed as Daria with my friend one time at MegaCon. It was so much fun to just walk around and just be like, "Hi." But it was kind of the same thing with the Kim Possible picture. It was a lot of just selecting the white space and then using the bucket and just filling it in. In this one, though, with Daria, the line art, from what I remember, doesn't change color. Like, it's depending on what it is. Like, the hair is in different line art color than the dress, than the cape, like in Kim Possible. In Daria, the line art stays black. We're already at Cinderella, all right. So another style, like I said, that I learned to draw was Disney princesses. So I was looking at the official art that they have, like, not from the 50s, but just, like, the ones that they use for promotions now. And I was looking at Cindy's, and I really liked Cindy's. It was a lot of like, blending and just very soft, not as CG looking like the modern, you know, Tangled and whatever, because I don't know how to do CG. So I used Cinderella as an inspiration, but the modern advertisement of Cindy. So I decided to go with that. But it starts out similar to Daria and Kim, where it was you use the paint bucket, but with that picture, or with the way that they use her in advertisements, she does have depth, she does have shading, she does have shadows. Not like intense or anything, but definitely in her blue dress there's a lot of different shades of blue. So I really like that, because I'm really into that. And then also, like I said, I learned how to draw from tracing over Disney characters. Definitely Ariel. I actually had a Ariel and a Pocahontas how to draw book that I would draw over all the time. So once again, giant eye syndrome while drawing all my characters with these huge eyes. But with this one, the liner does change with the item. So her hair has to have blonde, and her dress has to be blue, and you know the line art does change with the Disney style, at least with Cinderella. So originally when I drew the eyes, they didn't quite look right, so I was like, I'm going to go back. I wasn't quite sure what was going on, like what was wrong with them. But I think I drew the eyes in my style, and I didn't really draw them in the Disney style because... And then this was me adjusting the eyes because her eyelashes aren't like as crazy as I had drawn them. And then I fixed the pupils so they weren't as big. And I also changed the line art color of the eyes to make it look a little bit more distant. Now we're up to the last one. This is Babs Tarr. Babs Tarr is a comic book artist and freelance artist, and she kind of helped me get back into wanting to draw again. I really wasn't hardcore into drawing, like I did it for fun, but like not as much as I've been doing now. And that was because she was hosting this show on Twitch with Marisha Ray called Pub Draw. And I just really liked her style, and she was similar in that she learned how to draw by copying Disney and Sailormoon. So her style was very appealing to me. And then also she's just like a cool chick, and she's really talented. And I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna get back into it. And I started drawing more on the tablet, and I just got over my fears and my insecurities. And so I just wanted to end with her. Her style's very fun. But you definitely have to, like, get the eyes right, because that's, like, the thing with hers is like, those eyes are very specific. They have huge eyelashes, and then very, like, soft, light eyes that seem to always have these intense reflections. By the time I got to this one, I was so tired and my hand was hurting that I actually just gave up on drawing hands. But then I forgot to draw the crescent moon on Serenity, so I was like, dang it. Also, she's really into inking and painting with gray watercolor. So what I did was I took a watercolor brush, and I like colored in the background. This is my first attempt at hands, and then I gave up. So I color the picture in kind of like she would do in a commission, where it's just like just gray watercolor. And then like a little bit of light blue in the eyes, and like that's it. She's very like monochromatic. But this is hers and Ross Tran's, I think, are the ones I'm most proud of. Hers because I think I really nailed the eyes. Like that was like the part that I was like really concentrating a lot on. And then Ross is just because I really put a lot of effort into that thing. But yeah, I think it looks really cute. And this was fun. And I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but it was fun to do. So. Blue in the eyes, and that's pretty much it. Then I put a little faint background of gray in the back like she tends to do, and c'est fini.